Hey everybody, welcome back to Video Game Math. So Tarek and I got another fun and exciting episode for you guys this evening because a few days ago I saw a tweet for Fallen City Brawl on Twitter. It looked like a good screenshot. You know I love beat 'em up, so I figured I'd try it on Steam in my spare time and see if it was that interesting, and I wanted to talk about it. And I will say, well, there's definitely some issues to iron out, and this is just a demo. I am hyper impressed with what I've seen so far, and I can't wait to see what the development team behind this does next. Right off the top, just be aware that this is a one-level demo. It's only going to take you about 10 minutes, but it's very interesting. You get 4 playable characters that all have a different unique moveset and different specials. But I will say right at the beginning, this just looks like a modern version of Streets of Rage. And if you know anything about me and my love for Sega, that is 100% going to do it for me right off the top. This has absolutely spectacular graphics. You have all of the 2D sprites in that pixel art style. And you also have some zooming and scaling, which adds a fun component to the overall visual design. But of course, what is a beat 'em up if it doesn't have competent fighting mechanics? And I will say right now, so far what I've seen here in this game, I love the combat system, I love the move inputs, kind of plays a little bit like a fighting game. It just 100% works. The hit detection is solid, all of the sound effects for the strike sound meaty and really make you feel like you are getting an impact in, which 100% does it for me as far as beat 'em ups are concerned. I will say, at least in this stage of development, it could use a little bit more balancing, but again, it's a demo, so that's not really a complaint, just an observation. You do end up with 5-6 opponents on screen at once, and with this dirt bike going to the left and right, you can sometimes get stun locked and staggered until you're able to get away from your opponents. So I feel like maybe at least in this first stage, if they kind of took down 1 or 2 of the sprites here, take 2 enemies off the screen and give you 4 total things to manage, it might be a little bit more fluid. And some of these enemies here for the first screen have huge health bars, so you really do need to beat the ever-loving hell out of them. You will see that there is a cash pickup system as well as these crystals, which are going to become important later, and I'm sure we'll see more of the development of those in the final game. You will see here we're able to throw that wrench as a projectile, and there is a full tutorial as well, which is going to explain to you all of the moveset. Definitely check the tutorial out. There's a lot of commands in here, a lot of more advanced techniques that really give this game more depth than your typical beat 'em up. I love all of the different ways you can use the walls to kind of basically juggle your opponents as well. So look at that wrench though. There's different characters that have different power-ups, and the wrench, you can throw it and stun lock basically any enemy in the game you want. And I will say, trying to hit these guys on the bikes can be a little bit difficult. You need to line it up perfectly and jump at just the right time, but once you do it, it does feel satisfying. But you can basically accumulate those wrench power-ups, the counter on them, or any of the other special moves for the other characters, and end up in a situation where you have a boss on screen and you can just basically poke damage him from the other side of the screen the entire time you're playing. So I'm sure that's something the developers can take a look at and maybe limit the amount of uses on that on normal mode and kind of up them on the easy difficulty. But again, when we get all of these enemies in front of each other, it is a strategy. You do want to stack them up just like any other beat 'em up, but you'll see here again with the wrench you can just keep basically everything at bay. But that is the type of thing this is. It's an in development demo, and all of these things can and will be adjusted. The real takeaway here is just how pretty and how much fun this game is to play even as a one-level demo. I love the graphical art style, and I love that each character has his own unique moves here. You're going to see that this dude here, the cop, has a massive shotgun which will just absolutely decimate characters, and compared to the wrench, which doesn't do as much damage, the shotgun shells are actually more limited in the gameplay, so it does have a better balance. It feels like maybe some characters are designed to have an easier time throughout the game, but honestly I would rather have a situation where they have different hits, different move sets, but the difficulty is based simply along the difficulty you choose in menu and not for any particular character. And you'll see there you do pick up shotgun shells when you up the wrench quantity, so maybe they could pop a sprite in there for each individual pickup, or maybe there's a wrench in the box, I really can't tell. But honestly, I love how this game plays, I love how this game looks, and it has a very good soundtrack, at least here in the demo as well. So go ahead and listen for 45 seconds, I'll come back, tell you more about the mechanics, more about the game, and why I'm excited to see this go to a full retail release and play it. But this music is quite good, so enjoy. Just really good soundtrack, and again, I love the sound effects. They feel meaty, they feel beefy, they've got that bass to it. It really makes it feel like you are striking your opponent and you are doing damage, and we'll see there for a bit as well. There is a hold ground attack mechanic. If you hold down and hit the button, not on the edges of the screen sometimes can be a little difficult, you can do more damage to them while they're on the ground, and that's definitely going to be something that is useful. I will say that they could maybe fine-tune the pickup mechanic a little bit more. Trying to pick items up off the ground can be a little bit of an alignment challenge, but like I said, that's not a critique at all because this is still a demo. It's more just an observation of what could change between now and the time this game goes out. But I love the character designs as well. All of these enemies, they definitely have that Streets of Rage vibe to it, with maybe a little bit of Final Fight mixed in there somewhere as well. And they're all very interesting and unique. And I also love the color profile that they've chosen here. That kind of peachy pink pastel with the cityscape in the background. Those blues that kind of almost hue into purple. Everything here just has such a unique look and such a unique lighting scheme for a 2D game. It does look very dynamic, very unique, and I am excited to see what the other levels are going to showcase. If they bring this level of 2D graphic capability into the rest of the game and keep that sense of charm and wonder, I think we're going to have a really good game on our hands here. I play a lot of new beat 'em ups, and some of them stick, some of them don't. Something like Streets of Rage 4, a ton of fun. The new Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, great. Something, and I know it's not that new, like Mother Russia Bleeds, had a fun idea, but just didn't really hit with me. Pun very much intended because it is a beat 'em up. But right here, this game, this demo is intriguing to me. I'm really curious to see what happens with Fallen City Brawl as we get closer to a release, seeing more screens and maybe seeing a demo of another level as well. But even that door in the alley there, Tony's, with the light coming out, the forced perspective, it just has such a vibe, and I'm 100% there for that. Because honestly, a beat 'em up could be one of the best beat 'em ups of all time, but if you don't click with the theming and with the artwork, maybe it's not going to be for you. But this gritty street battle, Streets of Rage, Final Fight vibe going on here just works for me. And you'll see there I have collected some more crystals, and again, those do become important. And for some reason, the black bike way easier to pick up than the red one, so maybe the hit detection needs a little bit of work there. But now we have 9 different opponents on screen at once. And it is a ton of fun, it is chaotic, it is hectic, and that's what you want from a beat 'em up, so long as you don't get stun locked and kind of staggered. This is where you kind of want to use that wrench, get away from your enemies, and just basically do some of that poke damage until you can get one in a grapple, or otherwise throw one for a nice combo, and there's a full combo system in here as well. But I'm really curious to see what happens with Fallen City Brawl. This demo has definitely gotten its hooks into me. I played it maybe 3 or 4 times before I did the capture to talk about this mini quote-unquote review. The developers here have a good thing going. They've got a great art style, they've got a great fighting engine, they've got great music, great visuals, great colors. I just want to see more, and I can't wait to see what this game actually ends up being. But leave me a comment down below and tell me, did you know about this game before the video, and are you interested in playing it now that you've seen it? The great thing is you can just pop over to Steam and play this demo. It's free to download, and it is worth your 10 minutes. This feels like it's going to be an awesome $20 to $30 release. Hopefully it's got a lot of replayability and a lot more fun in store, because what I've seen here so far makes me want to play the full game. That's the highest compliment I can give to a demo, especially from a development team with not a lot of history. I want to see where this goes, and when it comes out, I'm definitely going to play it day one. But of course you do get a boss fight. It is a beat 'em up, and you'll see here those flame effects, not so much. They do look 2D, but they have a 3D vibe to it. I'm not sure what's going on with that effect right there. Seems like maybe it was something that is non-final. But even the boss fights here are a ton of fun. But when I said earlier, they need to balance out that wrench mechanic and the power up quantity mechanic a little bit more. You're going to be able to basically just get on the other side of the screen and stun lock the boss just by using that wrench and timing everything up. Obviously, a lot of beat 'em ups have stun lock mechanics, and trying to cheese the boss is definitely a thing. This may very well be intentional. It might be a callback to a previous game that some of the developers loved, but honestly, I do think that they should just take down the quantity of those specials a little bit on normal mode to make the game have a little bit better flow and a little bit better of a challenge. But that's the smallest complaint I can make against the game. Could just use a little bit of balancing, and that means it's in great shape. So when this comes out, I will definitely run a full review if you guys are interested. But short of that, definitely check this one out. Can't recommend it enough, and it costs absolutely nothing. I'll see you guys next time. Bye bye.